Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come. It's time for us to have a discussion about Pokemon Champions. Now then, there's some things you need to mostly know about Pokemon Champions. Well, I'll try my best to not spoil anything, but I will hit some focal points that we should be paying attention to, okay? Cool. So, effectively, the first point we need to pay attention to is the fact that, yes, this is a Pokemon game. Oh, wow. It's almost like it's literally in the name, right? Anyway, second thing you must understand. This game is free. Yeah. Financially free. In which case, you could download it literally for free. So far, I've noticed it to only be downloadable on the Nintendo Switch. In which case, when it was only downloadable there, the reality was like, oh wait, no, that means I have to own a Switch. Now here's the detail that the Pokemon Company needs to realize. If they proceeded to make this like a phone Google Play download game, like if they had made it into a MOBA game, they can turn Pokemon. They could make more money on this product faster rather than it being on the Nintendo Switch alone. So that one was primarily their very first problem with this game. Because like it had zero reason to be on the Switch by itself. It could have been as a mobile game and they could have made 3 times the amount of money. It literally made no sense why they did that. But we gonna keep it moving. In which case, this game, whether they like it or not, will have music issues because the music industry has not lost power. The only reason it is still going strong is because my black community within the United States is making it hard for it to get off the ground. Because the black community, when it comes to music, is about like it's the same as video gaming. So like that. So Street son of a bitch. Okay. Is running into the problem that most of the music industry would be running into, which just so happens to be the fact that like the creators are spiteful. Like video gamers exist out of spite of modern day ignorance. So when you are creating music for a game, if the game doesn't have anywhere within it forms of lyrics, then it's harder for the music industry to cooperate more intensively, meaning they have less of a commitment to your cooperation or survival. So financially, they're lacking in the music department. That's basically what that comes down to. So they have a USA financial music flaw. Then there's the next issue. What I have currently seen while playing the game is the fact that, like, in a game like this, there's more room for the ability to manage the game. Like, there's so many tabs for something that's considered basic, but that's it's also not considered basic. How should I put this? Basically, they have enough tabs in this game to reference the kind of things that have previously existed in the game. But what they don't plan around, from what I've seen, is the, how should I put this? The scope of the world of the game. The game is built into a plot that most players playing the game will focus around VGC. So what it has turned into is poke VGC. The story mode, basically. Now, why is this a problem? It's because single mode doesn't not and will not have the same magnitude of focused and and cooperative narrative as VGC. VGC's history is too large. So the only thing you could really do is basically have a story mode for VGC and a story for single for 6v6, I guess. I think that's the term. But they have to make an official term in the game, which will make it so that there's two story modes, like rebellion mode, hard mode and easy mode. We'll call single mode easy mode, because single mode, most of the time you'll only have to care about the in-game plot, which can and will have AI. So they need to make they need to make a plot for single players. How should I put this? Damn, the words. Okay, so dual mode plot narratives. Narratives. That's what we're going to call it. Dual mode plot narratives. Now, I could try to explain this. In order to have a dual mode plot narrative, you basically need to use the main story that we already have for this game. Don't tamper with it. Leave it the fuck alone. Then create a new mode for the game that has its own story. And the way you get to this story is simply by turning on the game. So basically, you turn on the game and you choose easy mode or hard mode before you get to anything else. And then when you pick easy mode, the plot for easy mode begins. And all your Pokemon are still there because the plot for easy mode is like a little sister or a little brother. That's basically how that will be. So the game will begin, and the game will begin with the little brother or little sister knowing exactly where the big brother is, what the big brother is doing, how far he's come, and more importantly, the fact that because it's the little brother or little sister, most family dynamics will want the family to thrive and survive and achieve things. Most little brothers and little sisters rely on the big brother or big sister, so they will learn from the big brother or big sister's example. They'll basically be like if you're the little brother, right, or little sister, the game will begin. You will be in easy mode. Easy mode is the single player mode. 6v6 mode is what we're gonna call it. 6v. Hold on. 6. Is easy mode. Okay. In which case, In order to effectively do this, you just start up the game, the plot will begin, and because the game will already have a record of where the brother is, it will only ever have to take accountability towards the fact that there will be 2 boxes. Much like when you're going into the game, when you proceed to go to box mode, or the box tab, it will have a up-down scrolling box narrative. In which case, within that narrative room, you increase the space by going through the game. However, there will be a separate box, which will be the opposite color of what the colored background for the box for the main plot story mode, which you could blatantly call the VGC mode, hard mode. Oh no, you can see my shitty typing. You can see my shitty typing. In which case, in this mode, you have access to the more difficult modes. Like you'll be playing VGC just like Wolf Glick and all the others that were world champions with the same rule set over the years, things that modify, change, yada yada. Basically how Game Freak has been doing things. They wouldn't have to change a damn thing. They wouldn't have to touch a damn thing. They wouldn't have to ask any form of permission about that mode. That mode remains the same way it is. Not a single form of document has been interrupted or flawed with. In which case, the situation would then become the story for the 6v6 mode. Yes, it's called easy mode. Why? Because in easy mode, you have as much space in the box as the 6v6 mode because it's keeping tabs on the size frame of the other box room. But here's the thing. Pokemon that are already locked into battle team mode on the far left of the box mode cannot be used by the 6v6 player. Why? Because the 6v6 player is not the main character of the VGC player in the story mode. You get my drift? It's dual story modes. So like there's 2 different paths. In which case, let's just say that the little sister gets tidbits. She gets little notes, like little paper written notes, like gets text, emails, all that kind of shit. Basically, the brother is busy. The big sister is busy. They're battling. They're trying to get they're trying to get a reputation going. You know what I'm saying? So clearly, it's possible for the main character of the VGC mode to never show up. The same way it would be possible for the main character in the 6v6 mode to never show up. The difference being here is that when you start the game for the first time, like you don't have anything else, right? The way you pull the players in is that when you start the game, in the first mode you choose, the first that's what I'm trying to say. The very first mode you choose will be defined in the game's record as the player who has voice acting. Any other player does not. Other than, like, I don't know, like the cast that would be talking to you through the plot. So, and since voice actors are so flexible, they could do that. And more importantly, Pokemon hasn't had voice acting outside of the TV show. In which case, the TV show voice actors will have something to aim towards. So, yeah, it will be nothing but a bonus. Now then, let's move past that. We're past the story mode. We did everything we could in that because the other creative liberties are in the hands of the creators themselves. These are ideas I'm just going to throw out there that the people have the right to use. I'm not going to fuck with it, right? I'll give these ideas away to Game Freak for fucking free because they have something with Pokemon Champions. But if they fuck it up, it's just done, right? Because if they pay attention to how much money mobile games are getting in, like Weathering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, the money that they're making, and how much their fan base loves them, like that's on them. That's on them. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Suck it. So the situation here is that we're now going to move on to the next phase. So covered music, covered voice acting, covered plot, covered story, creativity, and all that in their ballpark. Other thing I would say is that I have seen some small glitches. I've seen that the company is trying to get down into that, trying to fix that. I respect them for it. Now then, there are many things they took out of the game, like the ability to choose your own Pokeball. Well done. Hold on. Pokeball problem solved. At least to me. Now, major items throughout the entirety of the main plot story game. Those in a shop and what may have you, like the battle items. In the future, we would expect those to be coming in, but you would be doing background information. You would basically be talking to people who've won Pokemon World Finals. Don't talk to anybody else on what battle items should be in the game. And more importantly, there should be like a Game Freak released raffle list, right? And it would be only accessible to either world champions who have high scorings or in Master Ball tier with high scorings, or world champions, Master Ball tier with high scorings, and or like a dedicated selective small team of people within Game Freak that are researching what items people have played in World Finals in the past years since the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Or Sword and Shield. Yeah, Sword and Shield. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, the next detail. In-game character cosmetics. I would say slow and steady will win the race. You don't need to flood that shit with anything. Take your time. Wait for like anniversaries. And wait for anniversaries or the raffle. And next, for the fan bases that are listening to this, let's make something clear. Pokemon Champions is not for collecting them all. You're not supposed to catch them all. All right, we got to make sure we understand that. So, yeah. In which case, yeah. All right. Yeah. So the circumstance, yeah, it's a non-collection based game. It's a competitive game with with high interest on wanting to have fun through competitiveness. Now, here's something. Now, I know that there are some people out there who just don't get it, so let me point out some details here. The animal kingdom does not care what the collectors think. Okay? Like, the collectors are for real life people, they're IRL people. So don't bring that IRL behavior into our game. In which in which case, uh, Jesus Christ, when you haven't typed in a long time. So effectively, we're gonna need the next step of this. All right. Now then, in addition, I want the United States of America's good, wholesome people to understand that, like, this game was a long time coming, and it will never be an MMO. So you got to abandon that. And then the next detail we have to acknowledge is that we are getting into what is known as the Pokemon Showdown versus the Pokemon Champions environment. Now, this is not an environment where one side would destroy the other. No. This is an environment where both sides can learn from each other, like a debate. So, the debate here is Game Freak going to learn from Pokemon Showdown or attack it. Now that's the debate that they're going to be having. In which case, like, Pokemon Showdown has an incredible head start. A head start that's so absurd, I don't even know how one even overcomes the knowledge pool that Pokemon Showdown has acquired over this time. It's insane. Like, I don't think you can even do it. I think you have to acknowledge when you've won the battle and lost the battle. But it's a debate founded off of teaching each other something, like back in the old days. You're not trying to gotcha your opponent. You're not trying to buy them out or just prove or like virtue signal the situation. This is not any of those things. Abandon that way of thinking. You're basically trying to learn from one another, sharing information and being considered useful. Because if a man isn't useful, he ain't a man in some manners. In which case, most of the people running Pokemon Showdown is going to need to make themselves useful. Because if they just sit back, relax, and act like nothing about the world has changed, they're about to be left behind, and all the things they built up will disappear in just a matter of maybe a year and some months. That's how devastating this would be for them. And for Game Freak, if they did not learn from Showdown, the fan base is either going to drop the game and then cancel all their subscriptions, like in their accounts and what may have you, and there will be no value system made from them anymore because you've already fucked up with the Pokemon video game when it came to in-person events. We've already seen that in the previous events in previous years. And if you couldn't even do this on a console game that was free to download and figure it out, I don't know what to tell you, Game Freak. Like, there's a reason people like myself haven't bought a Pokemon game in a long time. We're not interested in like playing that goofy ass game with you, of that back and forth tug of war. No, this is America. We have to pay bills. We have to take care of kids. We have to build a future. We have to plan. We have to strategize. So this is what I got so far in regards to Pokemon Champions. It has an amazing future ahead of it if it can figure out how to manage this shit. All right. Now, my good people. Ooh. Wow. Anyway, I ask for you to live well. And may the force be forever in your flavor. And your dreams be forever be cheesy. And may your nights be silent. Bye-bye.